always wanted a house by the ocean. Maybe in another life.
Sal Bonpensiero is a high-ranking mobster in the DeMeo family. He's not only a trusted soldier in Tony Soprano's crew, he's also one of his closest friends. In his youth, Sal was known as a skilled cat burglar, which is how he got his nickname, the Large Feline.
Meow.
Alright, we all know that's not his nickname. Unfortunately, I can't write his actual name in the title of this video because it would get demonetized. Which is a shame, because half the reason why people like the character is because they like to call him Big Pussy.
I hear the Junior wants to whack Pussy Bonpensiero.
Pussy Malanga.
Oh, little pussy.
Yeah, little pussy. You think he's gonna fuck with Big Pussy? My pussy?
Despite only being on the show for 2 seasons, he left a strong impression with the audience. His storyline is about the tragedy of being an informant. Puss is forced into an impossible situation, having to choose between his own life and his loyalty to his friends. It's one of the most powerful parts of the early seasons, and is what set The Sopranos apart from mainstream television.
Like the whole way it plays out, it was very intense. It's like, whoa, I can't believe they killed Big Pussy.
Well, that was the big thing.
Spoiler alert.
It was the first time a regular cast member gets killed.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not killing the guy from Friends. You
Right,
know.
exactly.
David Schwimmer ain't getting killed.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, one Friday night. Oh my God, they killed David Schwimmer. There's 5 friends now.
Yeah.
You know.
However, as much as I like Pussy, there are problems with his storyline. For example, when exactly did Pussy flip? In the season 1 episode Nobody Knows Anything, Detective Vin Makazian tells Tony that Pussy is working as an informant for the FBI. He cites the fact that Pussy was let off easy after resisting arrest, and says that he was turned after being caught dealing heroin in Las Vegas.
And last spring with that big heroin bust, where was he? He told you he was in Las Vegas, am I right? All right, again, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's where he was. He was in Las Vegas. He was in a federal building cutting a deal.
Though Tony comes to believe that Vin was wrong and that Jimmy Altieri was the rat, Pussy disappears after realizing that he has a target on his back. He doesn't appear again until season 2, when he returns and claims that he was at a clinic in Puerto Rico for his back. However, it's revealed that Pussy is indeed working for the FBI, and has been since 1998, the year the first season takes place.
Spam me, okay? You've been on our tits since 98. Fucking chauffeur service to and from the doctor that we had to find for you.
Now, that pretty much answers the question, right? Well, not exactly, because in the season 3 episode To Save Us All from Satan's Power, Tony and crew have a realization and come to believe that Pussy became an informant in 1995, 3 years earlier. Their evidence is the fact that he missed an important sit-down that he brokered, and that he was later acting suspicious and asking incriminating questions at the Christmas party.
95. I can't believe I didn't see it.
However, this doesn't seem to be the case. After all, it's hard to believe that Pussy could have been an informant for all this time without giving the FBI any real evidence that would lead to arrests. I mean, in the first season alone, he's privy to extortion, theft, and even a murder. We see that he does try to resist giving the FBI information as best he can, but there's no way that the FBI would tolerate him dragging his feet for that long.
Hey, we've seen guys drag their dicks before, Sal. Take advantage of the government's generosity, playing both ends against the middle.
There's actually a deleted scene of Pussy being arrested by the FBI for dealing heroin in Las Vegas, exactly how Vin Makazian described to Tony. Furthermore, Agent Kubitoso mentions that Pussy's daughter is getting married soon in the interrogation, and in season 2, Pussy later mentions that his daughter did indeed get married recently, again confirming the 1998 timeline.
And your daughter, she's getting married, isn't she? You wanted to bring your grandchildren to federal prison to say hello to Grandpa?
I still got 2 kids in college, Tony. One just got married, needs my help.
Now, this deleted scene was actually from the episode To Save Us All from Satan's Power. I think it was deleted in order to make it more ambiguous when exactly Pussy flipped, and make the guy's theory more believable. The end result, though, is that this episode really muddies the water when it comes to talking about Big Pussy. Some people believe to this day that Pussy was an informant since 1995, and I don't really blame them. After all, what's even the point of bringing up this possibility if they weren't going to do anything with it?
Timeline got fucked up.
I think the point was to show how these guys were getting swept up in paranoia and were imagining this connection that didn't really exist. However, the point falls flat because they don't really do anything with this plot. It's not like Tony turns on somebody he trusts because he's scared it's going to be another big pussy situation. It's just a story idea that ends here.
One thing you gotta admit, he made a great Santa Claus. He did.
In the end, fuck Santa Claus.
Now, the timeline isn't the only incongruous element when it comes to Pussy's story. For example, we know that Pussy was indeed an informant since season 1. So why was he burning documents to hide from the FBI when he was already working with them at the time? You could argue that he's trying to play both sides and that he might be hiding further incriminating stuff from them, but given the fact that he's already facing 30 to life and later basically admits to murder to his handler, I don't really buy this explanation.
You look the other way on that Bevilacqua beef.
What? The Bureau would never turn its head on a murder charge.
All right, what else could you say at this point, right?
No, the real reason is that David Chase did not have Pussy's storyline planned out from the start. He wrote a cliffhanger for Pussy to be missing at the end of season 1, but had no idea where the character was until he started writing season 2.
When did you know Pussy was going to become a rat?
Well, before we started the second season. What happened was, we did the first season. So then I went on vacation in Europe. It was maybe a month or something. I came back, and everybody in America was talking about where is Pussy. And somebody said to me, "You're not aware of that? That Pussy's got? Everybody's saying that. Where is Pussy?" I said, "No." Then I educated myself, and I thought, wow. I mean, obviously that's a big question we got to say, and he should be focal point of season 2.
And this makes sense when you realize that Chase never thought that the show would have a second season. He was used to network television, where good shows are usually cancelled early, and thus there was no point in planning for the future of the series. And while he was able to come up with a great storyline for Pussy in the second season, I can still see the problems that arose from this lack of planning. For example, let's examine Pussy and Tony's relationship. In the first season, Tony says that Pussy is his best friend.
My best friend, Pussy, has disappeared. He's probably fucking dead, okay?
Pussy says the same thing, and tells AJ that they've been friends since Tony was a young kid. He specifically tells a story about Tony visiting his younger sister in the hospital as one of the moments that really sealed their bond.
I was 16 years old, and my kid sister Nucci, she had the spinal meningitis, and she was in the hospital. And your father, he was the only one. He came with me every day.
However, there's a problem. Pussy is supposed to be older than Tony. He was in Tony's father's crew long before Tony joined the Mafia. The officially licensed Sopranos family history book says that Johnny Boy made Pussy swear to look after Tony after he died, implying that he's closer to being a peer of Johnny than Tony. And after Tony's first hit, Pussy took him out to dinner to celebrate, implying that he had already gone through this trial himself.
Remember the first time you brought me here?
Yeah, I remember.
Popped my cherry that night.
Yeah, seems like old times.
The wiki lists 2 different birthdays for Sal and doesn't cite a source for their information. If we accept this information though, and assume an 8-year age gap, then if Pussy was 16 when his sister was in the hospital, that would mean that Tony was 8 years old. I just find it hard to imagine a teenager hanging out with and being comforted by someone that young. It's the same problem with Silvio, where the show isn't exactly sure of how old he's supposed to be.
You know, you're getting to be a very strange man in your old age, you know that?
Not to mention that Pussy and Tony's friendship is very superficial. We are told over and over again that Pussy is Tony's best friend, but we don't really see that in the show. Aside from the fact that Pussy is AJ's godfather and sponsor, we don't see any evidence of their closeness. It's not like Tony hangs out with Pussy any more than he does the other guys like Paulie or Silvio, which is why if you asked a casual fan who Tony's best friend is, they would probably say one of them instead of Pussy.
You don't understand. We go fucking back. I mean, Silvio I get, but fucking Paulie?
He's probably dizzy from all that hairspray.
Now, you might say that this lack of overt friendship is intentional. After all, one of the reasons that Pussy decides to flip is because he feels marginalized and used by Tony. So it's possible that they might have been close at one point, but just like we see throughout the rest of the series, Tony has taken this relationship for granted and uses it for his own personal benefit.
What the fuck was I, his errand boy?
The Saturn, yeah.
Running all over looking for his kid's science teacher's car. What the fuck is that? Any faith I had went out the window that very day.
However, I still feel like their relationship is underdeveloped. The climax at the end of season 2 relies on the dramatic tension of Tony killing his supposed best friend. I'm not saying that the episode doesn't work as is, but it would have been even more dramatic if we really felt their friendship. Like, imagine it was Tony killing Artie at the end of the season. Now that would be dicked up.
Hey!
Overall, though, despite the problems with Pussy's storyline, he's still an incredible character. Through him, we get to see the psychological damage being an informant takes on someone, a trope that we would see again and again in the series. His death was one of the most powerful moments of the early seasons, and even after he's gone, he continues to be referenced. They even centered the Sopranos video game Road to Respect around his illegitimate son.
You fucking kidding me? Pulling a stunt like that on his street?
It was just sitting there. What do you care?
Look at you, a fucking street punk, snatching purses from old ladies. Christ, the pussy was here to see this shit.
Well, he ain't here. And fuck him anyway.
I got news for you, Joey. There's more than one way to shame your family.
Thank you for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts on Big Pussy in the comments, and stay tuned for more Sopranos content coming soon. Hey Puss, did the patrons even really exist? Matt Joyce, Uncle Mike, Sam Cedarland, Celery Man, Cheshire, Brandon Taylor, James Johnson, Wolfgang, and No Name.